What's up, Lions fans? Welcome to Season 1, Episode 28 of the Lions Main Podcast. On this episode, we recap the game against the Colts and preview the Lions-Bears matchup on Thanksgiving, also giving our player props for the week. As always, thank you for your support, and you can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, at Lions Main Podcast.
This is the Lions Main Podcast.
A little shorter breath there, Georgie. Okay. No, thank you for that intro, and as always, Drew, thank you for he sings it every episode, just in case you guys were wondering. He actually does that live. His mouth doesn't move, but he's doing it, I promise you. But I'm gonna ask you guys this question. I asked you guys a few weeks back, but I want you to reevaluate. Fuck one, marry one, kill one. Glenn, Johnson, or the big dog? George?
I think last time I said kill Aaron Glenn, which is, who's saying that now? What are we now? 10 straight quarters we haven't allowed a touchdown? That's crazy. When's the last time any of us have even thought of something like that?
Either we're the greatest defense of all time, or the AFC South just sucks.
I saw another stat that we haven't let a team score 2 passing touchdowns on us all season. We're the only team in the NFL to do that.
Let's go! Shout out to Kirby Joseph. Boy's been a hawk in the end zone. We didn't get an interception this game. I knew that, in our prediction, George, you thought that Anthony Richardson was going to at least throw one interception. I think we were all following in line with you, but that was a little disappointing. That's one thing I would have liked to see.
It was, and there was that moment where the ball it was tipped and dropped, and I was like, that should have been it. But
right, club arm, Carlton Davis club arm. I think it hit him in the groin.
This kind of club arm?
Yeah, no, not the club banger. So I was wrong in our prediction. Yeah, I thought that Anthony Richardson was going to be making a comeback. Dude had a big arm, and even though it looked like he completed 10 passes on Kindle Vildor for 150 yards, he only completed 39% of his passes. So a historically bad quarterback. I don't know why I thought he was going to come out here and actually do something that we haven't seen before and actually be consistent and good.
He was good as a running back.
He was good as a running back, and Carlton Davis, he said it best. When they interviewed him after the game in the locker room, he basically said, like, hey, sometimes it takes a drive to see what a team's doing, and like their game plan was using their quarterback as a running back, as a fullback, and just a battering ram. And you can't do that for 4 quarters if you want to win a game. You can do it for a drive or two, but eventually he's either going to get injured, which he has in the past, or he's going to get tired. He's going to come out of the game because he's tired or something like that. So they had to switch it up. I mean, the Kindle Vildor attack was working, but you can't do that the entire game.
Well, a better team might be able to do it against Kindle Vildor all game, but they're a better quarterback. So hopefully Carlton Davis gets better. I also think he played particularly bad because he just hasn't played a lot this year. I mean, he's
right
good, but he was like, we were competitive in games he was in last year. Maybe that's just because the offense stepped up and everyone else stepped up, but a better quarterback it's probably a lot closer of a game. So we need someone. No. We need someone in there who won't take advantage. We need someone.
Yeah, no, he was definitely rusty. I think the PFF grade that they gave him was somewhere around 25 to 30, so somewhere in there, and it was like 20.2. Wasn't that like the lowest PFF grade of a corner this year?
If it wasn't, it's pretty close.
Yeah, that's pretty ridiculous. But didn't give up any touchdowns. So I mean, how bad could it really be? You know what I mean?
True.
Yeah. One thing that we did do when I just mentioned it, either the AFC South sucks or we're seriously like a historically good team because we just swept them.
I think the answer is both. I think you don't beat teams that badly and have that bizarre of a win against the Texans if you're not an amazing team, but also they're trash. Like that was the worst, probably the worst division in football. And coming into the season, it looked like it could actually be an interesting competitive. I was a little stressed about each of the games coming into the year, thinking each team would step up a little bit. Seems like the only one that's gotten even remotely better, maybe you could argue, is the Colts, but yeah, they're not good.
Right, not good at all. I think the AFC South, like every year, because of the young quarterbacks that they have, everyone thinks that they're going to be like a strong competitive division, but somehow the winner of the AFC South gets into the playoffs with a 7-10 record every other year.
Sure.
Yeah, no. So I don't know. They're shitty, but I see in your notes here that who was our AFC opponent, division opponent last year?
Last year's AFC West, which was also so the Chiefs obviously are good. The Chargers were fine last year. The
Right.
Broncos and Raiders were pretty pissed. So that one wasn't that special. Honestly, we played the NFC South last year. They were ass. The NFC West, if we can sweep them, isn't like world beaters, but it's 4 okay teams. So, I think though to sweep any division is pretty impressive. And for 2 years in a row to have a chance to sweep both your NFC and AFC, the divisional opponent when you play all 4 teams in the season. I'm sure other teams have done it recently, but it's probably very few teams.
Chance to sweep the NFC North too.
That's
True.
and that'll be the bulk of our conversation today. The NFC, real quickly. So the NFC West, we only play the 49ers left, right? They're the last team on the schedule. I mean,
Yep.
I think we're gonna get them at a good time. They look pretty busted.
Yeah, they're struggling.
They look like Drew's Taysom women busted.
Damn.
Buddy's flabbergasted. No comeback to that one? You always got something to say.
No comment.
Hey, teach your own. Hey, never judge a man's slump buster.
Going public, all right. Now, the 49ers are not looking great, but they're still the 49ers. They're still with Brock Purdy healthy, and if they have Debo and Kittle and Bosa, like that's still a good team. They're injured and in a weird funk. So I'm obviously more worried about that game than I should say. Obviously, all 6 of our games remaining. There's not like one gimme game, which is a bummer. But
it's funny you listed off all those 49ers and you didn't list off one of their starting running back. It's interesting, Jim.
He's not hurt, buddy. So why would I list him off?
He's not hurt. I thought I didn't know he was going to play again this season.
We're gonna do this again. I'm not interested in doing this again.
Yeah, let's forego this conversation because Jim will let it ride. So let's forego this conversation. I want to talk about the Bears because that's who we play this week, and they're 2 of our remaining 6 games. So, but before we do that, we had to go ahead and hand out our game balls. So, the defense showed out. George, I know you got to give your game ball to somebody on the defense.
Yep, number 44, Malcolm Rodriguez. 7 tackles, 1 assist. Defense held them to 6 points. I mean, there's never a better time. We've been talking about next man up. We've been thin at linebacker. Campbell played his ass off too, so
Yeah.
That's where I'm at.
No, I like that game ball. My game ball this week is going to Jack Campbell, and I think that pairing in the middle, I mean, we looked at with Barnes out, Anzalone out. I was a little skeptical. I was a little scared, especially playing a guy like Jonathan Taylor in the running quarterback of Anthony Richardson. But these dudes stepped up and were pivotal in our defense, only holding them to 6 points. So that's a good shout out, and I'm going to partner with you on that one. Jim, you like the linebackers, or are you giving your game ball to somebody else?
Linebackers were good, but I think Aleem McNeil has proved game after game that he's buddy in the middle, big, thick, just moving piles. You can tell he's good, but he's got some power behind it. So I love seeing him in the middle. He just does disgusting things in there, and so he gets the game ball.
Yeah, no, there was that one play that he had where he just bull rushed the center or guard 6 yards back into Anthony Richardson's legs.
It goes
Quentin Nelson too. Right. One of the better guards in the league.
He used to be. He got bullied this game, and I think he's gotten bullied a little this season. But he is still not a no-name rookie backup.
Right. That's going to go on anyone's highlight tape. You know, at the end of your career, you're definitely throwing that one. If you're a nose tackle or D end or whatever going against him. So yeah, no slouch for sure.
I don't know if it's just because he got paid or I feel like I started watching him more closely. Since he got that massive extension. I don't know if it was just like beforehand. I just never watched it. Was blind to it, but
my thing is this, and genuinely, I know he got paid, but after Aiden got hurt, I was like, okay, Aiden was clearly the most disruptive person on our defense, but the fact that he's gone, Like now you can actually see Aleem's impact. It was so hard to see what Aleem was doing because Aiden Hutchinson was getting to the quarterback in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
So now you actually see it. When these plays are developing, you're seeing this dude, big hoss, get back there. And he makes some athletic plays too. There was that play where Anthony Richardson scrambled up the middle, and then Aleem got off his block, ran 2 yards upfield, and then forced that fumble. So I mean, the dude has just been balling. Maybe it is the paycheck. Maybe money motivates. I don't know.
Well, just wait till Hutch comes back. Because Darius Smith, I think he was the highest rated line in this game. Aleem McNeil had a great game. Reader stuffed the middle. Pascal was great. I mean, the line has a real chance to be like a top 2 or 3 defensive line in the league next season if we keep Darius around.
You don't think with the defense that we got now we're already not top 3?
Top 3 defensive line, and it's tough to say because we do have a good. I think Darius Smith is a solid number 1 edge. He's a good number 1 edge, but I think the Eagles' defensive line is clearly better, unfortunately. I think the Vikings' defensive line might be better, just unit versus unit. And it's not because I think the DNs on the Vikings are just I mean, you got Grenard and Van Ginkel, and then you've got, I forget his name in the middle, but they've got some serious guys. They've got some serious guys there. And there's a couple other teams I think that have just slightly better defensive lines right now, but it's really, when you get Hutch back, I mean, I think it's an argument for the best defensive line in the league, at least there, if not one, number 2.
No, I completely agree with you.
Quick note on the Eagles. Did you see that Brandon Graham he's out for the season?
Yep. Yep. But the crazy part is that's obviously not good for them. The crazy part is they still have, I think you talked about, they have the most guys last week, Drew, when I was not here. But and by the way, Bryce Huff also, was he on injured reserve? Yeah, I think he got put on injured reserve. But yeah, there's a bunch of different guys on that Eagles team that still are good. They still have Josh Sweat. They still have Jalen Carter. They still have Jordan. What the his name is? The guy that was Hicks. A year older than Hicks, but Jordan. Whatever, I'm forgetting his name. The other dude.
Oh, the big guy. The big guy. Yeah.
Mountain man. Bottom line is they're stacked to deal. It's like, if you look at their whole defense, people were clowning on their GM Howie Roseman. They have a really sick defense. I mean, look, I'm not trying to hype up the opponent. I think we still match up well with them, but their front 7 and secondaries. I mean, their whole defense. That being said, the Lions I think have a better one on paper next year.
I think you're completely right, Jim. I mean, obviously you don't want to hype up the Eagles to the point where it sounds like you're a fan of theirs, but I think you're just giving props where props are due. Last week, 2 weeks ago, we talked about it was either last week or 2 weeks ago. We talked about Lions 1, Eagles 2, and how we feeling. I think that'll be an amazing matchup. I saw what Saquon did this past weekend. Holy fuck! If that dude's not top 3 in the MVP conversation, then this NFL is bogus. Ridiculous.
I had a quick comment about just the rest of the NFL in general right now, and I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like this season there is less good teams. I feel like obviously the Lions have been playing obviously top of the league, but other than that, it's we watched what happened to the Chiefs this week against the Panthers. Barely squeaking out another one. I don't know. I feel like instead of the Lions playing so well, I just don't know if it's the rest of the NFL playing better. And maybe that doesn't make any sense. But
go ahead, Jim.
It makes sense. I just think instead of having as many good teams as normal, I think there's just a lot more bad teams in the sense that it doesn't exist as much. To me, in the NFC, there's 4 at most, genuinely 4 at most teams, I think, as of today, could even remotely compete to get to the conference title again. It's the 3 NFC North and the Eagles. It probably also doesn't help that the NFC North is so concentrated with good teams, so it seems like the rest of the conference sucks. And I feel like in the AFC, you've got the Chiefs, the Bills, and a couple teams that are but then after that, there's a couple solid teams, Steelers, Ravens, Chargers, but even then, I just feel like there's not 1 through 6 or 1 through 7 teams that I in some years, the Packers last year, even though they were 7th seed, I could see them going to the NFC title game. And they almost did. But like, I don't see if you told me that the Falcons are making the playoffs. I'm sorry, they're not getting to the conference title game. Like the Broncos are not making it to the conference title game. There is a bunch of mediocre to bad teams. There's not a lot of that like second tier solid teams. That's my view.
No, I think that's better said.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I wonder. So we're Lions fans, and we're always looking at the league from the perspective of like where we sit. So when we're 5-5, like most years, we're looking at the league going, "Wow, there's a lot of teams who are above us and they're good." Are we just looking at it from the point of like, are we like biased in a way? So are we biased in a way because we're Lions fans and no one's record is matching ours besides the Chiefs? We're looking at it and going like, "Oh, obviously there's not that many good teams." You kind of get what I'm saying? I don't think I'm phrasing it very well, but
you're making sense. But here's what I would throw back to you, and I don't mean to just blow up the point or disagree immediately. But look at last year's standings, in the NFC particularly. I think to Drew's point, like they're like, let me list off these teams from last season. Think about these teams from last season. Which of these teams could you have seen making a conference?
okay,
in the NFC, the 49ers, obviously they did. The Cowboys last year, before the playoffs.
Yes, yeah.
The Lions obviously made it. The Eagles, you could argue no because they finished up poorly, but probably not. The Rams, I think the Rams were a good team last year.
Rams could have, yeah, they were being considered.
The Packers,
I'd say the only two teams that people didn't consider would probably be the Eagles and the Buccaneers.
Yeah, and even then, the Buccaneers they
smacked the Eagles.
Smacked the Eagles and
smacked the Eagles.
We beat them, but like it wasn't like a blowout. We beat them, but and then in the AFC you had the Ravens who were obviously good, the Bills who are always a threat, the Chiefs who won the Super Bowl, the Browns who if they had a better quarterback, probably up there.
Right.
Even the Dolphins, if they weren't for the cold weather, I feel like were a legitimate threat. So like there was I feel like 5 contenders in each conference, and this year it feels like there's 2 or 3.
No, that's a good point for sure. Well, I guess So you got me thinking about the parity of the league right now. So one thing that's kind of snuck up on me, and this is just kind of a topic that's we got to get to your game ball, Drew. But just before we get back to it, talk about some guys on offense and some other teams. Offensive rookie of the year. If you had to give it out right now, who would you hand it to? Bo Nix, Jaden Daniels, Caleb Williams?
Not option 3. I don't know. It's a tough one between Jaden Daniels and Bo Nix. I feel like they've had similar statistical seasons, but one's been better than so I think it's about the last third of the season between those two. Unless Caleb Williams just goes bonkers for the last third of the season.
Well, we know that won't happen because he plays the Detroit Lions twice. So
I think it's got to be Bo Nix because he's going to make playoffs.
Yeah, but Jaden Daniels might make playoffs too.
Commanders are not going to make it. They absolutely might make it, but I think that they. I don't think they've looked very good. I don't think they're a very good team. I mean, they got a lot of hype, but something about the Bears game that should have been a loss.
Yeah.
And since then, I mean, like if you watch, that was a crazy game, by the way, on Sunday. During the one of the craziest switching hours I've ever seen.
Which one? The Bears one or the Washington one?
The Washington one. Both.
Yeah.
But most of for basically 3.5 quarters, Jaden Daniels was absolutely trash in that game.
Right.
And like he's hasn't looked great as of late.
Right.
And so I'm not a big Commanders believer at this point. But I am kind of a Broncos believer because that defense is really, really good.
Yeah.
And so let me ask you a question though about that, because I don't disagree with your assertion that Jaden Daniels hasn't played great lately. But he played off the kind of go, and they've had a slump lately. My question is, if you look at the teams that actually beaten, who has beaten better teams? Because Bo Nix's 2 best wins are early season Buccaneers, which is a good win, and when they thumped the Falcons. Other than that, they beat the Jets.
They blew out the Falcons.
Yeah, they did for sure. But then the Commanders blew out the Cardinals, who were a good team. And
that's what the Cardinals weren't doing good, though.
My argument's less about the teams they beat and just the simple fact that I think it's more likely the Broncos are going to make the playoffs. And if you're a playoff starting quarterback, or in the NFL, then as a rookie, then I think
they're both going to make the playoffs.
I think, bro, Bo Nix is 27, so I mean, He's basically a vet. So come on.
True. I think he's probably still older than Trey Lance.
He's like Brandon Whedon.
He's like Ben Simmons winning Rookie of the Year in his 4th year in the league.
It's like Trey Lance. He's the same age as Trey Lance.
Markelle Fultz.
Can we talk about Brandon Whedon being drafted and how crazy that was? And just why? Who ever thought that he was gonna pan out?
What was he prior to?
He was a pitcher.
He was 28, so he was a pitcher in minor leagues. And the Browns GM was off the weed pen when he took weed in. That was bad. But it took him on as a 28-year-old quarterback.
Yeah,
I mean, that's just bizarre.
Did he go to Oklahoma State?
Yeah, he did.
Oklahoma State, yeah.
He did.
Did he play with Blackman, the receiver Blackman? Was that at the same time? Or
I think he did. Let me look that up.
Talk about all-time bust right there.
Dude,
yeah,
just
definitely.
because he couldn't stop drinking and doing, I think, drugs, but definitely drinking. He just couldn't stop drinking. Like, the dude actually had a good. If you look at his rookie year, he actually went kind of nutty. Not like totally, but
hey, plenty of NFL players have still put up numbers at, when they've been drinking and doing drugs. So
he got suspended for doing drugs. Otherwise, I think he would have I think he would have been on his to your point, like his grind, his drinking and winning grind.
George is sitting there. He's like, "Who the fuck is Brandon Whedon?"
It's before your time.
Before your time.
Hey, let's get back to your time. So, Drew, your game ball. We're finally getting back on schedule. Who will you give me a game ball to?
Well, I feel like it should go to the Browns GM for hitting that weed pen, drafting weed den.
There we go.
No, my game balls. I got to pick an offensive player, and I don't think there's anyone more deserving than Jahmyr Gibbs. He had 21 carries, 90 yards, 2 tutties, added a few catches. Took over the starting role when Monty went down with the shoulder injury. Sonic showed out again. He obviously scored the first touchdown, and that is now 25 straight games. The Detroit Lions have scored a rushing touchdown, which is an NFL record.
What the hell? George, you're not going to get on my man. Low-hanging fruit. He gets on you every time you take the low-hanging fruit.
Yeah, I took low-hanging fruit on defense, I thought. So, yeah, he can go right ahead. Yeah, and Gibbs deserves it. I mean,
nobody on the team truthfully deserves it more than Gibbs. Gibbs showed out, man. I mean, dude, if go look at the rushing yard leaders. I think he's sitting at 4th. It's just, I love that we have the two-headed monster. Sounds weird to say. I love the way the two-headed monster, but like, if Monty wasn't there, he would be competing with Saquon and the King Henry, the number 1 running back in the league. So I mean, it's a little disappointing, like, to think about, like, because like you said, Drew, we want to win MVP. We want the accolades as well for our players. And you're just not going to get that in this two-headed beast.
I think that's what's the most special thing, and I feel like it's borderline getting to the level of like the Stafford and what's the pitcher's name? Kershaw. Where they mentioned it, yeah, exactly. Where they mentioned it every single game, and I feel like every single game they're mentioning, Monty's like a big brother to Jahmyr Gibbs, and he's like they have like a whole storyline. Yeah, and it's getting borderline annoying, but I do think that is what makes it makes it special is that they're gonna break records as a tandem
together.
Speaking of annoying, what's more annoying than every single time the Lions are on TV, which is every Sunday, someone brings up kneecaps and Jared Goff being traded from LA every single fucking weekend, as if it hasn't been talked about ad nauseum for 4. Yeah, it's cool. We get it. It's cool, but it's been cool for 2 years.
Especially if it's in prime time, they start the game off by talking about the Jared Goff Matt Stafford trade. And it's like,
they're
all
both
right,
probably
dude.
so sick of it. They're probably so sick of it.
They gotta be. No, but no one's more deserving than Gibbs. I mean, dude, he has the potential to be the best running back in the league. Like, I love Monty, and Monty runs harder than anybody. You saw a few plays where he was just dragging defenders, but Gibbs, with his speed, his youth, his quickness, his strength, he has, truthfully, the ability to be the best running back in the league. So, next year in fantasy, I'm drafting him first round. Fuck you guys.
And thank God that Brad
I need him.
isn't isn't like the Browns GM and just takes the really fast, agile guy at 12th overall.
Taking Kenny Gibbler.
28-year-old former pitcher.
Hey, dude had a cannon on him. Pause. All right. Anyway, so
quick update. Drew and I have that bet. Who would have more touchdowns, Gibbs or Monty, by the end of the season?
where are we sitting at?
Gibbs is trailing 11-12. Monty is winning.
That's all? 11-12? I feel like they both have damn. Could they both break? Yeah, that is a lot.
It's nothing.
Could they both break what's it called? What's the name from last year? Williams. What was the last name? His first name who broke Barry's all-time touchdowns?
Jamal.
How quickly they forget.
Dude, he's a third string running back on his own on the Saints. I'm not trying to hear that shit. He hasn't touched the field more than 5 plays.
You loved it when he was talking about anime, though.
I didn't actually like that part. I didn't like that part. It was like, come on, separate.
Puppy, get off the porch. He's crying on Hard Knocks. I know George was
great.
That's actually when George became an Alliance fan.
Right. I watched Hard Knocks. That got me into it. I had only watched Hard Knocks 10 times.
That's when he became a Malcolm fan.
I think that's when the world became a Malcolm fan. He had like the number 2 selling jersey on the team at the time.
Oh yeah.
Come on. Hey.
No. One more. Well, hey, last thing about Jamal Williams. Great character, great locker room guy, but he was not nearly as talented as a running back that we needed on our roster. You could see it. Our old line was great. Not talking slander. Great dude. Wish the best for him. But let's get into it. Come on. Chicago Bears, man. We play. This is the first matchup. Dude, I've been a staunch Caleb Williams hater. Nobody hates Caleb Williams more than me. I just think he has a shitty little like sassy attitude. Like I'd hate to have him as a teammate. Like I don't know. Maybe it's because I got DJ Moore in fantasy in my other league, so that's why I hate him. But the lines are projected right now at -10.5. That's high.
That's a lot of points.
That's a lot of points.
Rich for me.
So the Bears have lost their last 5 games, and maybe the Vegas AI algorithm is like devaluing them. But when they play division teams, they play as kind of tough. They should have beat the Packers, and they almost got lucky and beat the Vikings. So like they could have won both of those games. I mean, I think 10.5 is a little generous, and I would be betting the under on that. What are you guys' thoughts?
I have a quick question. Did Doug Peterson? I know this is the Jags head coach. Did he ever get fired?
Yeah.
No, sir.
Oh, from the Jags? No.
Okay, because I was gonna say, I was like, this could be an Eberflus firing game if we, and obviously I'm surprised. I brought up Doug Peterson because I was genuinely surprised he didn't get fired after we put the smackdown on the Jags. But I question, you ask, what my thoughts are. First thought is like, could we get Eberflus fired?
Who's locked into Chicago media? Anybody seen on Reddit? Are they calling for his head or anything?
Oh,
I haven't seen anything lately.
Absolutely calling for his head.
They want to.
They already fired the OC.
String him up.
See, that's why I told you Bears fans are the fucking worst. That's why I didn't say. Actually, I didn't give my opinion last week. I was just in agreement with George. I let him spit free game. But the Bears fans are the fucking. I judge fans off of like if you give them a crumb, how shitty do they act? Like you give Vikings fans a crumb, they're like, oh yeah, we're good. Packers fans annoying, and that's why I said Lions fans. I imagine that some of us can be annoying, like myself. But Chicago Bears fans, you give them a crumb, they're gonna be pizza.
They're saying the same shit about us. They're saying the same shit about us right now. They're saying Lions get good for one season, and they don't know how to. And the Lions fans don't know how to act.
They gave us a break. We've been bad for 60 years. At least we're not actually to fire our coach. I mean, although their coach didn't get fired. I mean, also, like the fact that he isn't fired already is just bonkers. It's just bonkers. That like they need to. If they win less than 6 games or 7 games, I don't see how you keep him. If you do, Caleb Williams is probably going to kill himself.
Do you judge?
That's just Gen Z.
True.
Yeah, that's Gen Z. Would you judge? So like if you're the owner, would you be like, oh, they're about to play the best team in the league. If they don't win, I'm gonna fire this dumb motherfucker. Would you seriously?
I don't know, not a loss, but if they got like pants, like if
shit stomped by the Lions.
you know, on like Monday Night Football a couple weeks ago, we saw Derrick Henry's bare ass. If somehow Caleb Williams' ass is out during the game and they're down by 20 points, Matty Eberflus is getting fired. If Caleb Williams' ass is out,
if we're running like 3 trick plays while we're up 35-3,
we're literally doing tricks on it while Caleb Williams' ass is out. Yeah, he's getting fired.
We got Goff running down the sideline, 60 yards, untouched to the end zone.
Stiff arm someone.
It's like that. It was just such a bad look. It was like that old Sam Darnold's Jets thing where he was on the sideline. He just got caught saying like I'm seeing ghosts, and it was just like plastered all over national media. Like at that point, like you have to get rid of him.
Yeah, you can't get caught like that. Is there any worse job in the NFL than being a Jets quarterback? A Jets coach, maybe. Yeah. I don't know, but I'm not
being a trainer for Peyton Manning.
What's that story about?
That's a TBT. Although that's a college job. Yeah, that's good. That's college. Good. That's good.
Little hanky panky.
For those of you that don't know, he allegedly
breaking news.
This is while he was at Tennessee. No, it's all in the book. The Manning.
No, I know.
George doesn't.
He's listening.
Listening intently.
Allegedly, he was like getting worked on in the locker room by the trainer, and while she was like working on his knee, he just like whipped out his dick and put his balls on her forehead, like on her face, and she like was like, "What the heck?" and like went and told like the administration, like the AD, and this is like where it all gets like a very he said she said. Basically, like they got her relocated to a different team. They
sent her to a farm upstate.
Yeah, exactly.
What the hell?
And basically, she just like a little Pete
Carroll, Reggie Bush action.
Yeah, they just flexed their money. The Manning family just flexed their money and just made it go away. It's kind of a big conspiracy. It's kind of why I don't like Peyton Manning.
Kind of why.
But you've always been so pro sexual assault before.
Next, you guys are gonna tell me that Deshaun Watson's guilty. Anyways, we move on.
This is going off the rails.
We move on. Honestly, besides that point, I just thought of this earlier today. We'll get into the next topic. I want to talk injuries next, George. But how can God and HOAs live in the same universe? It's almost impossible. All right, George. Injuries, man. Who's injured this week? What are we looking at?
Well, I mean, just looking into the next week with the Bears, I'm thinking injuries are one of our biggest concerns moving forward. I mean, we've already seen Marcus Davenport, Derek Barnes, Aiden Hutchinson, Alex Anzalone. This past week, we had no Terrion Arnold, which sucked. His backup, Ennis Rakestraw, he's hurt as well. And then in this game, is Mosley hurt?
I think so too.
No, he's not hurt. He's back.
No, I didn't think so. But and then in this game, Khalif got hurt. Kenny Becker got hurt. I mean, Monty got hurt, but he came back. And Carlton Davis, I mean, he seems to get hurt like every game. But I don't know.
And did you hear? Dan Campbell say today that I'm on Raw.
Right, he didn't practice. He didn't practice today, so I don't know. That's like one of my concerns. That's like, I mean, what else can we be concerned about? Defense is on fire. When the offense is firing, they cannot be stopped. It's just we've looked so good. We got to look at what issues we have, and it's ourselves. So that's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, that's honestly all horrible news to hear. As long as our O line is good.
Yeah, Deck is supposed to play on Thursday, so.
Okay, that's a relief. Drew, what were you going to say?
I was going to say not so fast, George. It's not the only thing we have to be worried about.
Oh.
This is what I
call
more bad news. What I call the curse of the turkey. You know what our record is on Thanksgiving Day?
Oh, yeah, fuck.
Tell me.
Wait, all time or like in the last 20 years?
All time. Actually, all time we're not that bad. All time, I just had it pulled up here. All time we're 37, 45, and 2. But
mediocre
in this century. So that's
we know the century.
What's Y2K, George?
Why you say George? Wait, do I not know football? Do I not know dates? Do I just not know anything? Bozo?
I don't even. You've been silent over there all pod. You've been silent like you're smoking on whatever the Browns GM is. And I'm I don't know. It's easy to pick on. I'm sorry, Georgie.
Come on now.
Come on, kiss and make up. Come on, give us
how
a
are we
teacher.
the past decade, Bozo?
Okay, past that we're 6-18 and currently on a 7-game losing streak.
Holy fuck!
2 decades.
So do we get the monkey off our back?
Do we fade the lines or what? Do we fade the? Yo,
take the points.
The Bears definitely cover.
I think they cover.
Off that news, they cover.
I think they covered. I know. It's something about. I don't know if it's the tryptophan. If they're having Thanksgiving, turkey and just.
You don't know if they're having turkey and that's why.
Well, you know why?
Maybe they're getting stuffed before the game.
Holy shit!
Yeah, why do you think, Drew? Why do you think?
Give us your reasoning, Drew.
Well, I think that we've been bad, and then we played the Bills last year or 2 years ago.
Yeah. We actually played decent, and
last year was it the Packers?
Yeah, we played bad against Packers.
Well, to point out some differences, obviously, we know that there are some, but team's a bit more complete than it was last year. Last year, anytime Malcolm was having a good day meant the team was doing fucking terrible.
Yeah.
Happened in the Thanksgiving game, happened in the NFC Championship. Malcolm made some big plays and didn't matter.
Yeah.
Malcolm just had a good game. Kind of shows how complete our team is now compared to even last year.
Are you part of Malcolm's marketing team or something?
No,
but that is a good point.
If we're trying to do the causation, correlation, fucking this and that type shit, sure. But no, I mean, I'm a bit nervous with these Bears. I've been saying we've been talking so much shit about them, and I'm with you, Kane. I think Caleb Williams sucks ass, but
literally
they have a team, and as long as they can I don't know, I don't know what the fuck the deal is with their coach in that situation, but between their offensive line, who seemingly was horrible in the beginning, but have gotten better, and they're not the worst in the league.
Right.
They have awesome receivers. They have a great running back, a quarterback that's supposed to be awesome, and you see hints of it. You see he's not absolutely terrible. I know we always like to dog him, but they have playmakers. And just to put things in a little bit of perspective, I have some red zone stats for you if you guys are interested.
Ooh, me likey.
So we just played the Colts. Colts red zone scoring touchdowns. These are touchdowns. Is 52.8%, and they are ranked number 24. So pretty low. The Bears red zone scoring percentage is 65.3%, and they're number 5 in the league. That's a big difference. Shit. They do a lot better in the red zone. And we've been running this bend don't break defense, which has worked for these 10 straight quarters, which has been awesome. And we've done well in the red zone. But this is a team that has done decent in the red zone. So I don't know.
Yeah.
But guess who number 4 is?
Not us. I think we have a higher one, no?
We're number 4.
Oh, wow. This is all red zone scoring, though, too.
Correct.
Not including...
Yep.
It's field goals and touchdowns, right?
It's only
touchdowns.
Only touchdowns, okay.
Sam Bradford was the starting quarterback the last time we won on Thanksgiving. We beat Sam Bradford and the Minnesota Vikings.
You mean cross-eyed, tall shoulder pads guy?
Early human?
He does look like an artist. Wow.
He was just
not fully developed?
He was Kmart Kirk Cousins.
I'll say the losses to Sam Bradford were that made me so sick. So sick. I hate that man. I mean, he just looked so goofy, and it was like, why can we not beat him? But
Andrew Luck's weird cousin, and Andrew Luck's already looking weird. They look like they could be cousins. They both got some pretty genes, some ugly genes.
Right, Neanderthal.
Yeah, good hair, but ugly face, or
huge.
Yeah.
Women are going to like him regardless, but if they were short and non-athletic, they'd be, shoved in the lockers.
Right.
I have
difference between flirting and sexual harassment. How attractive you are.
That meme.
How attractive you are.
Tall, wide shoulders, Sam Bradford. Skinny, short, Sam Bradford.
One HR is getting called on, the other one's getting a date.
Oh, you're so sweet.
right.
It's a meme. It's a meme. 100% cells. It's a meme.
I have one other historical fact here for Thanksgiving.
Is it gonna make me cry?
No. This is good Lions lore. Is one of the most memorable events for Lions Thanksgiving games has to do with Ndamukong Suh.
Oh, let's go!
It's his stomp game. His stomp game was on Thanksgiving, which I did not remember.
Dog.
American History Suh.
How many years ago was that?
It was 2011 against the Packers, obviously. Stomped Evan Dietrich Smith.
Hey, fuck that guy. Not Suh,
Sounds
that
like,
guy.
Sounds like a guy that's a teacher.
Suh actually had an interview with somebody. Someone was like interviewing about his career, and they asked him about him being dirty in Detroit. And I don't know the exact quote, but he essentially alluded to the fact that they were trying to change the culture. And so he was doing things like that to, try to get his teammates fired up. Because they asked him essentially, like, were your teammates mad at you that you were, like, getting suspended and 15-yard penalties? He's like, no, because they knew that we were trying to change the culture. I was a captain. And, like, yeah, you might be beating us, but, like, I'm going to fucking slam you on your head and get thrown out the game. And then what? You're like, okay, like, yeah. That's essentially what he said. He didn't say those exact words. That was the Kane Watlington version of what he said.
I just read why he got stomped, or why he stomped that guy. It's because the lineman Evan Smith, and another lineman were untying the Ndamukong Suh's shoes repeatedly, and so he got sick of it and just stomped on
him. Warranted.
Ultimate crash out. Yeah. That's a gym level crash out right there.
It is. I would probably if I was not 5'8", 155, I'd probably stomp a lot more people out.
If you were flirting level, not sexual harassment level.
Yeah, if I wasn't getting shoved into a locker and getting HR called on me, I'd stomp people out.
Fair enough. And get glorified for it. Yo, who wants to win this game more? DeAndre Swift or David Montgomery?
Matchup I didn't even think of.
I bet
you know DeAndre Swift. Yeah, Swift has that. He has it because he traded his ass. Get the fuck out of here.
Mentality.
Yeah. And we got Gibbs. We kicked you out and got Gibbs. Fuck you.
With the upgrade button.
We have aspirations, and their aspirations to beat us. Yeah. So, like, we have long-term aspirations, and so Monty might be like, I want to beat these guys, but Monty's also already playing against them.
He's looking in the future, and he's looking in the future, too. Like, we're trying to win a Super Bowl. Like, this is probably one of the worst teams we're going to play for the rest of the year. Like, we're trying to win a Super Bowl.
He already played a whole full season against them, played twice against them. So, like, I'm sure he still wants to beat them, but I'm sure each time he plays them, it's like a little bit less of a factor. Swift has not played us yet. And we literally said, get the hell out of here. And basically we divorced him and got a younger, hotter version of him. So we did what a lot of dudes in their 40s do when they're going through midlife crisis.
Minus 10.5. Drew, what are you thinking? Score. Give it to me.
Ooh, low scoring. I'm going to go 28-17. I guess it's not that low scoring.
We're in the dome.
28-17. Lions.
28-17. That's low scoring to you?
So you put me on the spot. I didn't really think about it.
Let me see here. So
I don't think that they're going to cover. I would take the points. Honestly, you guys have just convinced me to take the bet on the Bears to cover.
Go Bears straight up.
Okay, so then what's it going to be then? 28-17 is they don't cover.
Maybe 21-17 then.
21-17. Okay,
yeah.
Okay, I got it.
Sorry. I didn't get my head on straight.
Literally, I saw you going through the motions. All right. Georgie or Jim? Who's ready?
I'm ready.
All right, Jim.
I think the Lions' offense seems to be less injured than the defense, so I expect the offense to be able to. I don't think the Bears' defense is solid, so I'm thinking something 24 for the Lions, but I do think the Bears are going to be able to move the ball a little bit this week, especially if Davis is out. That's bad. So I'm thinking 24-20. I think they're going to score 4 times, but a couple of times they're going to get, the bend don't break's going to work. A couple of times they're going to score 24-20.
Yeah. I like something that close. I think the Bears cover as well. I think both teams have some turnovers. I think Goff might throw a pick. I think Caleb might throw 2. I'm going to go Lions 27, Bears 20, and Georgie.
All right. I think the Lions are going to have 27 points, and the Bears will have 13.
Why are you saying it like that?
Okay.
Saying it like that. Ugh.
Hey, George, something off your nuts.
What you looking at over there, Drew?
I actually was looking up the breakdown of the bet. So for all the Lions games this season, Lions have been heavily betting favorites, but also the trends are heavy on the Lions, like to cover the spread. Right. But it's usually like 90-10 Lions cover.
Oh, fuck. Yeah.
But right here it's 30% of the bets on this game are Bears to cover.
Because it's because of all the things we talked about. Like, fuck if the Bears are good or if the Bears are bad. The Bears are not a factor in this equation. It's the Detroit Lions and how they play on Thanksgiving, and the team that we love, what they do best. We know that we know this isn't going to be our best performance. I hope it is, but it's likely not going to be. So that's why you're seeing the money go that way.
And they're healthy and just played close against two what I would call pretty good division opponents. So I mean, like, I feel like they're hitting their groove. They're just hitting a hard part of their schedule, and they're healthy compared to us. So
for sure. Let's get into the best part of the day. Player prop bets. So we didn't hit last week. Thank you to George. I think I talked you into AR throwing an interception, and you took the bait. But we lost some money because of you. So thank you. Let's not do that again. We finally got Jim back. Took a little time off. Went on a trip with his woman. Had a good time. But we're gonna hit the player prop bet. We're gonna do. Let's just go ahead and do 4 this week. We'll make it up another week. There's not a lot of player prop bets out right now, so I'm first. I am first. Alrighty. I'm going to go ahead and take Jared Goff over 1.5 passing touchdowns.
Dang.
He's got to throw 2. Yeah.
That is that was what I was going to take.
You want that one?
Uh-oh.
Maybe I should stay away from it.
Uh-oh. No, you already took it.
You're fucked. All right, Drew, you're up.
Okay. And I'm doing this one on the fly.
good prep work, eh?
You're good. Take your time.
Well, hey, listen. No, I had DeAndre Swift over 14.5 receiving yards.
And Swift over 14.5.
It's good value.
All right, Jim, you're up.
I was petrified when you said DeAndre Swift because I do think he's going to want to come out and go hard. I'm going DeAndre Swift over 43.5 rushing yards.
You know they got another running back on their roster.
Who? Roshan Poopy Johnson?
I don't have 40. I have 45.5.
I have 45.5 as well.
Okay, 45.5 then. Let's go with that.
Is Jim cheating again?
Well, there's alternate lines, you know. I like DeAndre Swift over 340 yards.
You need to be told, George, or what?
No, I mean I was gonna take the opposite of what Jim just bet. So I
go opposite. Go on, do it.
There's also Lions players available. There's also receivers on the. No, we're not gonna parlay this shit then. What the heck?
No, that's what he said. Go ahead, do it. I was like, no, we can't.
Go ahead.
Parlay it then.
I mean, that's what it's about. At the end of the year, I mean, you guys are pretty close in your rankings right now.
I know. I'm rethinking what I'm doing. We're gonna throw the ball. That's for sure. Jared Goff over I'm going Jameson Williams over 45.5.
Ooh.
I'm surprised no one took any Lions running game. I feel like that's where we're gonna do most of our damage this week.
Well, the Bears' run defense is pretty good, but I also
it's good. But
there's no rushing props. There's no rushing props for the Lions outside of Jared Goff.
There's no Monty or Gibbs.
No,
they don't have him yet.
Is it because technically Gibbs or Monty might? Is it because he's like technically up in limbo in terms of if he's playing or not?
Monty, yeah.
Right. Okay.
Alrighty, well, I like those. You guys really think Swift is gonna have? I guess together. I mean, we're talking. You guys really think he's gonna have over 60 all-purpose yards against us?
I don't. Yeah, where's that coming from? You guys both win.
I think retribution.
14.5 yards is a great value.
I mean,
I think I get that then.
He's had a good year. He's going to be highly motivated. They're probably going to want to give Caleb an opportunity to, run the ball a little bit because I feel like if they can establish a run game, he's going to feel a lot more comfortable.
Yeah, no, I think you're right.
They will try.
What in the world?
Alrighty, well, I like those prop bets. I think we did our score predictions. 3 of us said that the Bears cover, one of us, George, he thinks we're going to stomp them again. So shout out to George. Remaining hopeful, but it is Thanksgiving. Before we finish this up, guys, let's go around the room and say one thing that you're thankful for. Georgie, what are you thankful for?
I just want to start and say I'm thankful for the three of you doing this podcast every week, twice a week. We've been doing this now. What is this? 28 episodes in. Holy smokes, guys! So to pat yourself on the back right there. And I know we have the ups and downs of our own lives going on, and the busyness of this and that, and yet we still come in, week out, and do this. We talk, and it's fun to get to spend the time with you guys. So I'm thanking you.
No, thank you, George. I actually really appreciate that.
Very nice.
Jim, what are you thankful for?
I'm really thankful for you guys. No, I'm just kidding. Just copy the same thing. I'm thankful for. Gotta shout out my wife first of all. She's awesome. She's great. But thankful for the Lions, man. Of course, it's cliche. We do a Lions podcast, but I think we're all in a way a little bit like anybody who's a super fan of a team is kind of a loser. But I'm happy to be a loser. Happy to be a loser. Happy to have cared about this team when they were 0-16. Happy to care about them now, and I do think they're bringing the city together a little bit more in the metro area and the state. So I hope they keep grinding, and even if they don't win the Super Bowl, as long as they keep charging forward and keep making us proud,
marching down the field,
forward down the field, baby. Just keep going. So yeah, Lions, and shout out my wife.
Oh, and
then
my wife.
All right, Drew, who are you thankful for, or what?
I'm gonna shout out my family. Super excited to see them tomorrow, flying back to Detroit. But more importantly than them, I'm thankful for Dan Campbell, the orchestrators of this all.
Yeah, no, that's a good one. Those are all good. I'm thankful for having the opportunity that every sports fan, I think, should have. My winning the national championship, and then this team winning the Super Bowl, baby. Shout out to the Detroit Lions. Stay thankful, everybody. Thank you guys for listening to this episode of the Lions Main Podcast. I hope we go out there and we beat the Bears. Join us next week as we give a recap on the game, and look forward to next Thursday as well. We got Thursday Night Football next week as well.
Sure do.
Yeah, Thursday to Thursday. So we'll break down that game as well.
Hey,
so thank you guys again for listening.
How thankful are you for the listeners?
I'm so thankful for the listeners, Drew. How thankful are you?